understand now Kali and Kali Carb specifically. I use the same formula that I use in most lectures. Where does it act? So it has a specific action on muscles, ligaments, heart. Okay, so very important for heart, and that's why for pumping. Special action on muscles, ligament, and uterus. So very important for even prolapse. We normally think only of CP or something, but it has a very good action on ligaments. So ligament tear, we think Rustox, Ruta. Chronic ligament tear, think about Kali Carb. Muscle ligament lumbar. So it has a very good action on muscles ligament of the lumbar. So lumbar area, back area. Serous mucous membranes, chest, especially right lower. So right lower lobe is a very important area for Kali Carb. Serous and mucous membrane, joints, eyes, blood, and especially on left side. So Kali Carb is more left sided. Okay. Let's look at a little bit of modalities. Worse by cold air, water draft. Draft is, slightest draft aggravates, especially in chronic conditions. Think about Kali Carb. Worse by cold, worse by changes in weather, overheating also. Worse by worse by cold after exertion. Worse at 2 to 3 a.m. This 2 to 3 a.m. is a very, very important modality for Kali Carb and winter also. Worse before menses, worse lying on the painful side. So if it's a pneumonia on the right side, they cannot lie on the right side. That pains them. Worse lying on left side. Worse of loss of vital fluid. And very often, many ladies, when they tell me, my problem started after pregnancy or started after delivery or after labor, very often the remedy is Kali Carb. Very often. Very better by warmth, sitting with elbows on the knees like this, and better by open it. So this is the whole modalities gamut of Kali Carbonica. Let's try to understand the main genius of the case. I'll tell you the most important keynotes, okay, and then we will try to understand the state of mind and then different areas. All right. So what is the main genius? What do you mean by genius? This is a word that has been actually coined by Boger. And genius is the main kind of main thing that runs through the entire symptom complex. Okay, and you will often how to know it. You can read about it on in the preface written by Boger Synoptic. Genius of Boger, weakening. Dekho, whatever is written in capitals now, that is the main thing. What Boger says. So he's written weakening, comma intellection, matlab state of mind, his brain, his thoughts, weakening of that. Okay, weakening of muscles, entire muscle. Muscle doesn't mean only biceps. Okay, muscles even mean the weakness of orbital reticularis, the muscles around the eye. Also, weakness of entire muscles. Okay, weakness of heart. That's why it's a very important remedy for cardiac. Many I have treated one case of cardiomyopathy with help of Kali Carb, where the ejection fraction was very low. It was 20. It went to 40 with help of Kali Carb. So beautiful. Weakening of back, weakening of muscles, weakening of limbs. Even Kali Carb is a very important remedy for weakness of eyesight. When young boys and girls, they are wearing specs and their eye muscles are weak, their vision is getting weak. Think about Kali, if indicated. But this is the way you have to think. Are you getting an idea? Let's go ahead. See how Boger has written of weakening and then intellection, muscle, heart, back, limbs, comma, etc. The etc. means the entire body. Every cell of Kali Carb has weakening. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. The another many big genius, and first 3-4 lines is the genius symptoms of the remedy. Okay. The genius of Kali Carb also is gives out. Means bus means the body just gives out. So gives out, giving out of muscles, giving out of body, gives out, leans on something, or lies down with backache. Profuse secretion means very passive. The body becomes passively, totally just gives out. That is the whole idea of Kali Carb. Okay. Soft, very obese, often very obese, sometimes more obese than calcarea, thin blooded. So here we are talking about clotting mechanisms. Okay, Dekho, Boger, Kent, Hahnemann, so many years back are even thinking about clotting mechanisms. See the depth, see the beauty of it. Huh? Old, fleshy, dropsical, or paralytic. So dropsical, they have bold, So typically Kali Carb is dropsical. Very rarely Kali Carb will be a very emaciated person. Very rarely. Maybe a Kali Carb who has tuberculosis may be uh, um, very emaciated. Kali Carb is very important remedy for lung cancer. In fact, it's the number one remedy according to Banerjee protocols for lung cancer. Very important remedy. I use it very often as well. What is the other written in capital? Sharp stitching pain. This is, sharp stitching is there only in Kali Carb and no other remedy in homeopathy as much as in Kali Carb. Sharp stitching. Where is the stitching? Huh? Stabbing, catching in joints, in muscle, in chest, in head, in epigastrium, in back, etc. So patient will say sharp stitching, and this is very often because Kali Carb has an action on the membrane and the fluid around these areas like pleura, right? Like cartilages. So these have specific action there, and that's why it develops this kind of sensations. Okay. I hope you're getting a little bit of an idea. What are the other, the genius of the remedy? Coldness of single parts like abdomen, fingers. Okay. This is very important. Parts lain on are painful and go to sleep. So very often this is a very peculiar symptom. But one of the main genius I've seen in almost every Kali Carb patient, this I often ask in the end, easily started. If you want to give Kali Carb to a patient, before giving Kali Carb, ask this question. When you sleep or someone calls your name or someone touches you unknowingly, do you startle? This is Kali Carb. Achanak se I startle. This is Kali Carb. Some more things. Anxious aversion to solitude. See how beautifully they have written solitude. Cannot take being alone. Kali Carb cannot be alone. Their problems start when they are alone. Their problems start when they feel they are not supported. We'll talk about the mind symptom. Headaches into eye, wake from sleep. They get up and they say, my eye pains. So this symptom, you can use in many cases. Eye is weak, I told you. The musculature around the eyes is weak. So many cases, even cases of glaucoma, even cases of cataracts, even cases of children who have, eye vision problems. Think about Kalika. Weak eyes, vision spotted like drops, puff over. So this part, you see, this upper eyelid, this is very swollen in Kalika. Okay. Baggy upper eyelids, very important. Huh? Head colds go to chest, which means that they have sardi, they have cold, they have sinus, and suddenly they develop pneumonia. So all their problems either go to chest or they go to back. Okay, and that's why Kalika could be a very important remedy after bryonia in current COVID stages. No stuffed, better by open air. Yellow green crusty discharge. Okay, very often Kali Carb will have a swelling on the face. Okay, one of the first thing you'll see is face swelling. Hawks up tough mucus in morning. So they get up and they're like, this is often Kali Carb. Difficulty in swallowing. It's a very important remedy for catarrhal esophagitis. Some people have a problem in swallowing. They feel something is obstructed or something. Kali Carb is a very important remedy. It's written in capitals. Salty regurgitations. Very important. See, I'm trying to teach you step by step all these keynotes so that, before I go and explain you the state of mind of Kalika, you kind of have an idea about the very important keynotes, something that you should just know. Very often Kali Carb feel as if even after eating or drinking, Kali Carb um, feel as if it's full of water. The colon is affected. Okay, typically all symptoms somehow go back to the chest or back. Lot of flatulence. All carbon remedies have flatulence. It's a very important action on gastrointestinal symptom. So a lot of gas. Stools can be hard, large, burning, but very important for piles. Okay. And what is the symptom? Piles are bleeding, and they can often be protruding out when coughing or urinating, and they stick like burning like fire, and better by cold bathing. So this is almost, may look like muriatic acid. So think about uh, Kali Carb is a very underrated remedy for piles. So think about it. Burning in left side of the kidney. For old people, nocturnal enuresis, very important. In fact, in adults also, cough causes involuntary urination. This is also a very important symptom of Kali Carb. Now we come to the hormonal area, very important for irregular and initial amenorrhea. You know, there is a very interesting symptom um, given by, let's see, let's see. देखो क्या लिखा है. Kali Carb. Last line, Alan's keynote. Kali Carb will bring on the menses when natramure, though apparently indicated, fails. Kali Carb, very, very important for hormonal problem, PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease. Very important. Ovarian disorders, hormonal disorders. Menses are not coming. Think about it when indicated. When colosynth fails in colic, whenever colosynth fails, all remedy fails. The last remedy in colic is Kali Carb. And the last remedy in piles, when all remedies fail, is collinsonia. Okay. So colic, then irritating menses, better by washing. It has a specific action on lungs. Very important for lungs. Any lung disorder, asthmatic, they will often have concomitant diarrhea, vertigo. Slightest motion can cause breathlessness. Choking is a very important symptom of Kali Carb. Yeah. Lungs seem to stick to the ribs, and that's why the stitching pain. Stabbing chest pain, stitching, stabbing. This word you should remember: stabbing, stitching. Patient will often say, "I suddenly get a pain." This sudden pains could often be stabbing and stitching in Kali Carb. Very important for cardiac pathologies, valvular disorder, arrhythmia. I come to some more symptoms, fine stitches in mammae, and that's why small fibroadenoma of the breast. Think about Kali Carb. This is a very important remedy. Now I'm going to talk to you about the back. Everything affects the small of the back. Pain start there. So think about it. Back and legs give out, feel heavy. So after Rustox, after calcarea floor, you're giving Ruta. Kali Carb could be a very important remedy. It is one of the only remedy when the swelling of there is only swelling of the left foot. I had a patient who used to get swelling only of one foot. That is Kali Carb. In a case, if you see swelling only of one foot, when there are indications of other remedy also, think about Kali Carb. So beautiful, no? Sensitive soles. The soles are sensitive. One another thing I'll tell you about Kali Carb. They are very ticklish. Means what? In Hindi, there is a word called as gudgudi. Means if you touch them, they'll be like, oh, they are very ticklish. Ticklish foot. You'll touch them and they'll, so they are very ticklish, very sensitive skin. Okay. During menses, they can have skin problems. Okay. And they talk a lot during sleep. Which remedy talks in the sleep during pneumonia? They have pneumonia and they keep talking in the sleep.